Put your hands behind your back, Heather.
What do I have a warrant for?
For homicide.
Heather Fernandez was a normal middle school teacher who had just gotten married, living what looked like a perfect life. But that would all come crashing down at 5:30 in the morning on the 29th of November when the Farmington Police Department received a chilling call.
I came into my room and my husband, I think he died. I think he's on the floor. I think he's dead.
But something about this call was suspicious, and the operator had an eerie sensation that something wasn't as it seemed.
Do you think he's beyond any help?
Yeah, I do. Come on, babe, wake up.
If you want, ma'am,
Yes.
if you want to try, I can give you CPR instructions.
No.
But if you think he's beyond any help,
Heather refused to attempt CPR on her husband, an unusual response when a loved one is lying lifeless on the floor. 7 minutes later, police arrived at her door to investigate, and what they found was nothing short of chilling.
Ma'am, did you see what happened?
No.
2497.
Where's the blood coming from on him? On his chest?
And I fell asleep on the couch and I came in here and he was on the floor. He was on...
Okay. Ma'am, can you watch out? I need to check his pulse.
He's cold.
He's cold?
Cold.
When did you last see him?
About 3. And I came in just now. And I guess he'd gotten his razor out. I don't know what he did. I don't know.
When police arrived, 49-year-old Robert Hofer was already lying motionless on the ground with 3 stab wounds in his chest. The responding officer checked for a pulse, but he was already dead. Heather scrambled to offer an explanation for what might have happened, but her words in this situation would soon become one of the crucial pieces in the puzzle that ultimately led to her downfall.
Do you know what he cut himself with?
He said one of the steak knives, but I couldn't have...
Okay, let's not go reaching around. I just don't want you to get cut, ma'am, in case it's sitting around here.
Say again?
I don't want you reaching around just in case you get cut, okay?
Was he suicidal?
Not that I know of.
Was he laying here in bed and you moved him over off the ground? Okay.
And when I got up...
Back here, Sarge. Oh, am I?
No!
We're not sure. She said he cut himself earlier in the night. Had been in bed in here, and then she came over, pulled him off the bed, took his shirt off. No, the lacerations I'm seeing are deep enough and have a lot of blood protruding, but...
That's the thing.
I don't know.
I told. It's not deep. They were deep. They're not deep enough to kill.
Heather told one of the officers off camera that Robert had been cooking a pie earlier that day, and that he might have accidentally then stabbed himself in the chest. This explanation understandably didn't leave the police satisfied, so they continued their investigation and would soon find something that revealed a crucial hole in her story.
I don't know.
We're gonna need this west,
It's okay. Take your time.
northern edge.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm calling it back.
I can't admit he was on the floor.
Yeah, we can try that.
Yeah.
How old is he?
49.
49.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. No,
It's okay. Man, we're going to assist you out to the living room, okay?
What happened?
Take some deep breaths. Is there anything we can get you, ma'am?
I don't want him to be like that, and I know he's...
We're going to take care of him, ma'am. We're going to respect him and we're going to take care of him for you.
106, I believe they're pulling up right now. 106,
Oh, who am I for that? Okay.
I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I don't know what he did. I don't know.
It's okay.
We're going to have somebody come and look at him But we're gonna try and move him to a more accessible place. Right here, right outside the door.
But you should have tried moving him when you're 4'11".
What's that?
You should have tried flipping him over when when I'm 4'11". He was laying on his, he was on my computer, face down,
Okay.
and I rolled him over, and then here, and he's cold.
Is there any way that I can get you to step out and we're gonna end up coming out that way? Or do you wanna wait until we move back? It's up to you. You can stay with him this way. I see he's wearing these compression socks. Does he have some medical conditions? Blood clots in his legs? Okay. Did he complain at all about any like feeling of pain or anywhere in his body?
I don't know what he did, you guys. I don't know what he did. I don't know what he did. I don't know what he did.
Like I said, we're gonna have somebody come and check him out. That way, you know, they can front and back look at him more thoroughly, okay?
I don't know.
At this point, there's no way of us
did. I don't
knowing.
know. What he did.
Ma'am, I'll give you a minute to say goodbye to him, but we'll have to move you out, okay, so we can conduct our investigation.
These are the knives. These are the steak knives.
Okay, we'll check him. We'll take a look at him.
I didn't see any of them gone.
I don't see any of them missing.
When the officer found the steak knives, none of them were missing or had any blood anywhere, which was strange, because that would mean that Robert would have had to stab himself in the chest deep enough for it to be fatal, then go clean the knife and put it back while it was bleeding out. The story doesn't add up, and the officers on scene knew it.
Does he keep his knives in any drawers or anything like that, ma'am?
No.
And do you know if it was in here where he ended up possibly hurting himself, or what had happened exactly, Heather?
Yeah. Well, we were going to bed, and he was like, "It hurts. It hurts." And I put him in bed, and
And is there any cut marks on him at that time?
I didn't notice any at that time. And then I went a little later, and he was like, "It hurts." There was blood on his. I was like, of course, I said dirty words. I said, "What the did you do?"
Did this happen whenever you were moving him on your shirt? You have some of this. Some blood.
I'm sure it happened when I moved him. Or when I took it off of him and I cleaned it up.
He was wearing a shirt.
And again, now I can't find it. He was wearing a shirt and a jacket.
So, with all that said, and I'm just going to kind of warn you ahead of time, they're going to probably collect your shirt and take pictures of you and your hands. Just because
I didn't do anything.
It's okay.
Listen,
It's just procedure.
I didn't do anything.
And I just wanted to warn you ahead of time. They're going to get you. I don't want you to be surprised by anything that happens, okay? Their investigation is going to be very thorough.
With Heather's questionable story and the evidence they had collected, the police decided that they would take her in for further questioning.
You're saying, though, that he was complaining of pain as you're going to bed.
Okay.
I know I failed. I know that.
Well, so my concern, ma'am, obviously is this is not normal.
I know.
Even for a suicide, this is a little strange. If that's what we're calling it. If we're calling it a suicide, it's strange. And things don't add up and I'll tell you why they're not adding up to me, okay? Because he was happy, according to you guys are happy, there were no signs of any unhappiness or any suicidal ideations or anything like that. He didn't mention to anybody. From all accounts, everybody thought that he's pretty happy.
Yes.
And even if he was hiding something from you, you guys said that, you know, the conversation you had earlier in the evening is that you found your person, you found that
Yes.
special someone in your life. And he even said that, right? He said that to you. Okay? So obviously you meant a lot to him. I don't, you know, we do a lot of these death investigations, and some of them are suicides, and when somebody means a lot to somebody else, often they'll leave a note. Okay? We're not seeing one, we don't see a note, we don't see any reason why he would do this.
I know.
So
How
that-
do you think I feel?
So that doesn't make a lot of sense to us, okay? And then the way it happened doesn't make a lot of sense either. Okay, he has stab wounds to his upper chest area. So that's strange to us. We don't know where the weapon is that was used.
Hey, one of the guys found it.
How do you know that's it though?
Oh, well, I don't know. I thought that's what he said.
Okay.
So,
I mean, you said steak knife because he told you steak knife.
yeah.
Okay. So I don't want to jump to any
Right.
conclusions here, but we don't know. And why if he did that to himself, would he hide it or put it away somewhere? That just doesn't make sense, right? Okay, so there's all these things that are not.
I know. How do you think I feel?
And then on top of that, you check in on him, and he's obviously has something wrong with him. He's not completely coherent. Of course, that could be chalked up to some of the drinking, but that could also
Right.
be chalked up to he has a major injury. And nothing's done. We don't know. Nobody calls an ambulance. Nobody follows up and says there should be something. Even if, at the very least, ma'am, you got to look at this.
I understand. I know. I failed.
Well,
failed,
I'm not
and I
saying
know
that.
that.
I'm not saying that anybody failed. I'm just saying that.
It looks messed up.
Yeah, he.
I understand. Please, no, I understand.
Even if these injuries, and we don't know the extent of these injuries. Maybe these injuries are superficial. I don't know. But even if those injuries are superficial, at the very least, it's a cry for help if he did this to himself, right? And as a teacher, one of the things you're taught to look for is, like, even with students that are crying out for help and stuff like that, they should, you know what I mean?
I know.
That's a warning sign. So I have some major concerns with that. I have some major concerns that you cleaned him up and took that shirt off and cleaned him up. Then leave him that time again too. That would have been the perfect time to call someone.
I know. Like I told you, I know.
Okay. So that's some of the biggest concerns is that his body's been manipulated in some form or way. The weapon that was used in this has been manipulated in some sort of way. I don't think you're a bad person. Okay. I can tell in your eyes that you're.
But you think I did?
You're a good person, but things are not adding up. I think you're not. I think you have more to tell me, right?
I don't have anything else to say. I have nothing left. I've told you all I have.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing left. Nothing.
Okay. One of the things we have a responsibility, not just to you and to your husband, to make sure that we do this correctly, but we have an obligation to his family too.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And honestly, I just want to know. I want to know what happened to him.
I do too.
I think you do know. Honestly, I think you know what happened.
I didn't do this.
And if you do know what happened, let's just hear me out. I think you know what happened, and
I did not do this. I did not see this happen. I did not do this. I'm not a bad person. I'm not.
I mean, it doesn't make sense.
He's 6'3".
Mm-hmm.
How would I be able to hurt him like that?
I don't know. But that's what I'm trying to figure out. Everything I've seen, it's from what I'm seeing, I don't think this is self-inflicted.
You think I did this?
I haven't come out and said that.
In what at first seemed like a slam dunk case, with Heather's story not making any sense, the steak knife and Robert's clothes cleaned up, as well as an additional text message conversation, which showed that they had been fighting over past relationships and their financial situation the day before Robert's death. The police surprisingly let her go, and it seemed as if the case had fizzled out, until...
Put your hands behind your back, Heather.
What do I have a warrant for?
For homicide. You have the right to remain silent. Any statements made by you may be used against you in court.
The police had finally gathered enough evidence to arrest Heather and took her in for questioning once again in order to find out what really happened that night.
So, Ms. Fernandez, you've been advised of your rights.
Correct.
Do you know why you're here?
Just no.
Okay. So the last time you and I talked was back in 2020. This has to do with your husband,
Yes.
Robert.
Yes.
Okay. So we've completed our investigation. It took some time because we had a lot to process. But our investigation, from what we have, we know what happened. Okay. And this is your opportunity to tell us the truth about what happened, okay? Because what you told me last time, none of the evidence that we processed matches with what you're telling us. So I know what happened to Robert. I just don't know why it happened to him. This is your time to tell me why.
I'm gonna need an attorney.
Okay.
Heather made the intelligent move of asking for an attorney instead of revealing more details. She was then placed back in her cell. In the end, the investigation is still ongoing, and Heather is being charged with second-degree murder and tampering with evidence.